All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started. I like to be respectful to everybody this time. So hopefully you had time to pull up your credit reports, because in this class we dive in deep and I'm showing you how to get rid of your collection. So this class is meant to be very interactive. If you have any questions whatsoever, just feel free to, unmute yourself, interject, and just let me know. And I will not be monitoring the chat while I'm going. I'm going to be going off my PowerPoint slide. So that's why I said if you want to unmute yourself, feel free. So I just wanted to start off by saying who I am. I'm the rich serial entrepreneur and your future business and credit bestie. So every day I help people repair their credit to guarantee personal business approvals of over $20,000 for their limit. 1 second, we got someone else joining. I'm gonna let them in. Okay, so yes, a little bit more about me. So I know I just started talking about credit on the internet, but I've actually been in the credit repair space since 2017. So I actually started a business in 2016. I jumped straight into it, got a credit card, used it to finance my business. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any financial literacy, slid myself right into debt. So from that, I did try to hire different credit repair agencies and I got scammed. And I just could not believe it. Once I got scammed, I didn't have any more money to pay nobody else to fix my credit. So I rolled up my sleeves and I learned myself. So I took a deep dive and I had a 436 at the time. And within 90 days, I brought my credit score up into a 780. From that, I started fixing the credit for the people around me. And now I teach others how to start their own credit repair businesses and how to fix their credit themselves. So today I'll be showing you a specialized class on collections. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to continue on. So before I go forward, do I have any business owners out there? If you're a business owner, just unmute yourself and just let me know. Okay, I guess I don't have any business owners out there. Do I have any parents?
You said parents?
Yes, parents. Okay, so what would you do if $10,000 fell in your lap right now? What would you do?
Go get me another car because I totaled mine.
I am so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. But essentially, $10,000 fall into your lap. That's what credit is. That's what will happen if you got a credit card. So a lot of people do not know, but you can actually buy a car with your credit card. The 2 cars that I paid cash for, I paid with my credit card. You can use your down payment for a credit card. So once you get to fixing your credit, removing those collections, removing those charge-offs, you can get access to those limits and then also the better rate. So the lower the interest rate, the better for you. So these are some of the things that I'll be showing you. So just imagine upgrading your car, moving into your dream house, taking luxury vacations. That all becomes real when you boost your credit score. So before we get started, I'm just going to talk about a few credit myths and things you might have heard that can hold you back. So number 1, disputing debt makes it go away. No. Closing an account improves your credit score. So if you have a good account that has no late payments, closing that account will negatively impact your credit score because it's closing the amount of available credit you have and it's closing your credit age. So if you have a good positive account on there, just keep it open. If you have a credit card that you haven't used in a while, you might want to sign up for a small subscription like Netflix, or just buy a bag of chips every month just to keep that account current. So myth number 3, you can't repair your credit yourself. I'm literally about to teach y'all game in the next 5 minutes, okay? Number 4, credit repair is illegal. If credit repair was illegal, there would not be so many FCRA laws out there provided by Congress to protect you. So, and number 5, paying off collections will always remove it from your report. Paying off a collection will only mark it as paid on your report. That does not remove it. It shows that you ran off on somebody and you just paid them back later for pennies. That's not a good sign at all. So the only way that you can truly get a collection off of your account is if you fight it, or if you negotiate a pay for deletion before you hand over that money. So assuming that no one wants to pay for a pay for deletion, you want to keep all your money in your pocket, I'm going to keep going and show you how to remove it. Before we get into that, I need to tell y'all about the mistakes, the biggest mistakes. Number one, ignoring errors on your credit report. And we're going to breeze by these because I go into a lot of detail of these in my ebook that's also available for free. So we're just going to make sure you're not ignoring the errors on your report, and don't assume that they are right. So these people punch a clock just like some of you and I. It's days when you come to work and you don't really feel like working. It's days where you might, just let it iron on by. These people are the same way. Do not trust that the information is right just because you see it on your report. That is your report. It's your duty to make sure it is correct, not theirs. So number two, focusing too much on old collections rather than your utilization and your payment history. So like I said, paying off a collection without negotiating a pay for delete did nothing. You just I don't know, you just said that you ran off on somebody and you paid back pennies. It does nothing. Sometimes what will be better, taking that money that you were going to use for that collection and paying down your other credit card. So in my first class, I went into extreme detail about how your credit profile is made up, and credit utilization is the biggest one. We're going to talk about that briefly a little bit more in the next slide, just as a refresher. The next one is not disputing unauthorized inquiries. When you go to these lenders and you come into them and you step into them and saying, not only do I want at least $10 to $50,000, I want 0% interest. That means you are talking your talk. So if you're talking your talk, you got to walk your walk, and that means you cannot look thirsty. You look thirsty to the banks where you have a lot of inquiries on your credit report, inquiries that are not tied to open accounts. So imagine if you shot your shot with somebody, it didn't go in, and then everybody you tried to talk to after just seeing that, like they just seen your mark, it's like, dang, D Rich tried to get on so-and-so, so they all said no. Why would I say yes? That's what inquiries look like when you don't have tied to it. It looks like you're thirsty and everybody said no. And then lastly, if you're showing that you're thirsty for money, that might come off to the bank that you're desperate for, and they might start questioning if you're going to be able to pay them back. So dispute the inquiries that are not tied to your accounts. Number four, letting late payments slide. Even one late payment can drop your score 165 points minimum. Do not miss any payments. Going forward, what you want to do is set up auto pay if you can. If you feel like you might miss a payment from any of your credit accounts or any of your loans, pick up the phone and call them. Like, these are, like I said, are people too. You can call them and say like, hey, number one, can I change my payment date because this does not work for me? Number two, can I negotiate a temporary lower amount that I could pay each month, because right now this is not affordable for me. So maybe for the next 3 months, instead of paying 147, can I just pay 47? And then another tactic, breaking your payment into two. So for my bi-weekly people who get paid, if you have a minimum payment due for your credit card, pay $50 one week and $50 the next, to make sure that you do not fall behind. So those are some of the common credit mistakes. And like I said, I go into a lot more detail in my ebook, and it is free. It's on my website, and my link in bio is ready for you to grab. So like I said, let's get into this real quickly because I went into a lot of detail in the last masterclass, which is free and available to you. But this is how your credit score is calculated. Like I said, your payment history is the number one, and then your amount owed, which is also your utilization ratio, is number two. So again, before you go and think, should I just pay this collection on? Think, would it be better to use that to pay down some of your accounts? The next thing will be your credit mix. I'm going to show you some ways that you can diversify your credit mix as we get to the end of the workshop. And then also, like I said, the inquiries and the new credit. So don't look thirsty. Don't look like you were begging for money. And then also, every time you open up a new credit account, it changes the length of credit history. So it changes your average account age, and it decreases that. Right now, lenders typically want to see that you had at least 6.5 years of established credit. If you don't, and you have been paying rent for, I don't know, since whenever, I'm going to be showing you a trade line that you can use to give you that same history. So if you've been renting for 5 years, I'm going to show you a trade line that you can add that will, boom, add 5 years to your profile. So just stick with me. But before we get started, did anybody have any questions? And I'm also going to use this time for everybody who hasn't pulled up their report to pull it up. Okay, cool. Thank you. So briefly, I want to go and tell you the difference between charge-offs and collections. So a charge-off is a account that, you know, you stopped paying for it and they have determined that the debt is no longer collectible. These are with the original creditor. So who is an original creditor? That's the credit card company, the loan agency, wherever you went to open it. So if you went to Capital One, it would be Capital One. Okay, if you went to Bank of America, the original creditor would be Bank of America. Now a collection comes, like I said, when they determine that this is no longer collectible, they sell it to these debt collection agencies for pennies so they can collect the debt. So that's when you'll see something like let's say LVNV, and then up under it, it'll say original creditor merchants and medical, or something like original creditor Capital One, or something like that. So that is a big difference, showing you the difference between a charge-off and collection. So you also want to pay attention to make sure you don't get hit with what is called double jeopardy. So double jeopardy is when you have the charge-off and the collection both reporting, and they're both reporting a balance. Only one of them should be reporting a balance. The balance should be reported with the collection. So if you have a charge-off for Capital One that says a $6,000 balance, and then you see a collection from LVNV with a $6,000 balance, and they say original creditor is Capital One, that means you've been hit with double jeopardy, and that is a violation of your rights. And they're really just trying to hurt you. They're really just trying to stick it to you and make sure nobody else gives you no more money, and they cannot do that.
Okay, quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
And I might be jumping the gun, but okay, say for instance, you got like a debt collector calling you, trying to collect the debt before it actually goes, you know, they report it to the collections agency or whatever. Do you negotiate with them? Like, I know the debt is mine. Like, I know it's me.
Did you call them and say that like they could take your information from whatever that company?
See, I don't know if
whether the debt is yours or not. Whether the debt is yours or not, you had signed a contract with whoever you did business with. So whether that's Capital One, Victoria's Secret, you decided to do business with them. The second they sold your debt to these other people, that don't have nothing to do with you. When they're calling you, what you need to tell them is, stop calling my phone and only communicate with me via mail. USPS mail. But when they send you something in the mail, I'm going to show you later in this video what to do with that.
Okay.
We call that setting the trap, and I'll be showing you. So yes, just tell them like, oh, okay, send me something in the mail. Do not confirm anything about yourself. You don't have to tell them nothing but your name and your birthday. And you don't even have to tell them that, because
I don't be asking them. I'll be like, y'all know what y'all tell me.
Technically, if they calling you and saying you owe them money, they should already know who you are. So half the time when they're asking that, they don't have that information and they're writing it down to collect it. But I love questions, so keep coming with them.
Okay.
Alrighty, so let's talk about understanding what debt collection is. So like I said, debt collection happens when a creditor sells your unpaid debt to a third-party agency, usually after 180 days of non-payment. So this means a new agency is now attempting to collect on that debt. So they usually buy it for pennies, and then try to collect the full amount from you. So they'll go to Capital One and buy a portfolio for like $5, and then call you and ask you for 3 bands. No, we're not doing that. Okay, so let's talk about common credit report inaccuracies that you can see with collections. Because like I said, I hope you got y'all account pulled up, because we about to stick the knife in them. So number 1, wrong balance amount. Okay, like I said, if you knew you only had a $600 Capital One card, why is LVNV or Jefferson Capital asking you for $750, $850, $950? No. And then also, if it's reporting inconsistently across all 3 bureaus, they are supposed to have 100% accuracy, no exceptions. TransUnion can't decide that they want to say that it's a zero balance while Equifax says that's $40 balance. It's the same thing with the creditor name. If TransUnion has LVNB funding and then Experian has LVNB funding LLC, that's not 100%, baby. It's not. It's no gray. Not 100%. That's inaccurate. That deserves to be removed from your credit report. And then the last thing, another thing is duplicate accounts. So like I said, double jeopardy. Both of those should not be collecting a balance. And then sometimes these places try to get tricky and just put 2 collections on your account when it should be 1. Lockhart and Montgomery is really known for that. So you'll see Lockhart and Montgomery on your credit report, and then under that you'll see the same account number, the same amount, and it'll say LMMINC. So start paying attention to that. When you see these accounts on your credit profiles and they're usually in abbreviations, that's usually a credit collector or debt collector trying to get you twice. So pay attention to that. Another thing is the wrong account open date or having payment history. You should not have payment history on the collection. And then lastly, reporting your paid collection as unpaid. So even though I said it doesn't add a big boost to your credit score, they still need to be accurate and say that you did something to rectify the account. Errors violate your rights and you have the power to dispute them. So right now, y'all, we about to get into the meat and potatoes, and I'm really excited. So can I share with y'all how I help people remove negative items like this to increase their credit scores? Can I give y'all the real? Just let me know, because I'm not gonna hold back.
Go ahead.
All right, now I just needed one person to let me go ahead and cook. So first of all, I'm not an attorney. None of this is legal advice. Removing items from your credit report does not mean you don't owe the debt, okay? Collections and judgments might still come to be settled. Removing it just means it's no longer on your credit report, it's hidden. Sometimes creditors and collection agencies will reach out to you after you started the disputes because you just updated your information. So if you were out in the wind and like, boom, we found D Rich. But guess what? When they send you something, I want you to save those letters because we are setting the trap to sue them. Ultimately, you can sue any debt collector out there. So all you want to do is lay the foundation, catch them, and take them to the CFPB, which we're going to talk about later. So now I'm going to tell you guys my super secret method to remove these accounts from your credit profile. So number one, we're going to pull our report. I gave everybody 5 to 10 minutes. So hopefully you really utilized it and pulled up your credit monitoring. Again, if you don't have Identity IQ or Smart Credit, that's fine. Experian is a good option and it's free. Okay, so after I'm gonna give you a brief overview and we're gonna do it together. So after we pull our reports, I'm gonna show you how to freeze your credit report and then how to update your personal information and how to utilize these FCRA laws to get these accounts removed. So first, I'm going to talk about analyzing your credit report. So like I said, we're going to have it pulled up with Identity IQ. This is what their homepage looks like. And when you log in, this is going to be the very first thing that you see. So this is just a brief overview of all 3 bureaus. Again, you want to have a 3 bureau report because how can you see the inconsistencies if you're only looking at one? We're banking on your information to be incorrect. So you need to see it all side by side. This is the easiest way to do it. So it briefly just shows you all of your accounts, the ones that are open versus the ones that are closed. The ones that are closed, the ones that are delinquent, the amount of collections that you have, and all of that good jazz. So the first thing we're going to look at is our positive accounts. So positive accounts can be easily found by the green. So you see the green at the bottom, that is showing your payment history. So if you really want to go hard at making sure your positive account is fully maximizing your credit score, you can check the details. This is just a little additional tidbit of information, not necessarily related to collections, but to make sure you're getting all of your points, you want to look at it. Make sure that your credit limit is reporting. Your credit limit is what changes the amount of available credit that you have. So you want to make sure if you got that 10K limit, they're showing it, that it's not just blank. They're again supposed to have 100% accuracy and completion. You also want to make sure there are no negative comments in there. Sometimes they have undated late payments. So you'll see all of this is okay, and then you'll see a comment in here that says, you know, one time 90 days late. When? So pay attention to stuff like that. So lastly, to wrap it up, you can tell that account is positive because you don't see any red, any yellow, or any black. You're probably wondering like, what's yellow, red, and black? I'm finna show you. These are your negative accounts. So if you look at the bottom here, we see this black and it says CO. CO is charge off. So this means that they were with a bank or with a mortgage company. They stopped paying. This place no longer thinks that they collected debt. So here are your account details, and this is where you'll want to start looking for those inconsistencies. Is the account number correctly? You know, is the account status correctly? Because sometimes some will say derogatory, some will say satisfactory. Sometimes the date is wrong. This cannot say 11/30 and then this say 11/01. Which one is it? 100% accuracy. You want to pay attention to your credit limits, the past due amounts, and most importantly, the date of last payment when it comes to these type of things, the date of active and the date of last payment. But again, these are just additional nuggets for you to know. So again, when you're looking at your identity IQ report, you will be able to find your hard inquiries at the bottom. You want to keep it, if it's not, you really want to keep it to 1 to 2, and they should be tied to your open accounts because you don't want to look thirsty. Like I said, we went over that. So after you pull your credit report, the next thing that you need to do is to freeze your information, but we're going to talk more about that. But I want to let you guys know about the secrets that are out there. So what is the Fair Credit Reporting Act? So this right here is a federal law that regulates how consumer credit information is collected, reported, and used. The purpose of this is to ensure that credit reporting agencies and creditors maintain accurate and fair credit reports and protect consumers from potential harm. So like I said, credit repair would never be illegal because we have the FCRA laws that were created to protect you. So I hope you have your computer or your phone. Please screenshot this, save this for later. These are just free gems I'm giving you to use any day. So 4 main laws you need to use when you're disputing. This is not just for collections, it's for anything. So protection of non-public personal information, procedure case of disputed accuracy, block of information, and timing of payments. So these 2 right here can be used for anything on your credit report that you never consented to have shared. I don't think I consented to have anything on there. Nowhere in that black and white does it say we can report it on your credit profile. It doesn't. We just assumed it's okay because we've seen it there. That's actually a violation of your privacy. These can be used. Account verify is usually what's used in round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once they send out those canned letters saying, okay, we verified this. How? How did you verify? Don't just take these people's words. I need to see the receipts. Who did you talk to? When did you talk to them? And I need to see a signature or something. Ask for something. Don't just trust it. Then lastly, late payments. A lot of people have been struggling with late payments. I know we are coming out of a pandemic, so times were hard. This law right here is a great one to leverage for any late payments you have on any account. You can also use this for a charge off because a charge off only starts once you're 180 days late. So technically you can use it as a double whammy. All right, continuing on. So now we're going to talk about some of the laws that are specific to collections and how you can use them to have them removed off of your credit report. So account numbers displayed incorrectly. Account number on TransUnion is any type of way different from the ones on the other 2. It's an inconsistency and that should be challenged. The law that you want to use for that, this one right here, 609A, right to information. So this law allows you to request the source of the data being reported. And if they cannot validate or provide consistent details about that, they need to take it off. They need to take it off. Next, use of false representation. So any use of false, deceptive, misleading representation to collect the debt or gather information about a consumer. So if a debt collector pretends to be a government agent or uses legal jargon to intimidate you into paying, that's a violation. This is the specific law that you want to use for that. So reporting is an unknown collection account. So let's say if an account disappeared, they never called you, they never sent you a letter, or you don't know who these people are. Again, like I said, we're sticking to the Capital One scenario. I signed up with Capital One. I have no clue who Jefferson Capital is. I never agreed to do no business with them. I never agreed to send them no money. Who are these folks? This is what you would use for that one. So I hope y'all taking y'all screenshots and adding these to y'all notes. And lastly, it's unlawful for any debt collector to communicate false credit information, including to say that a debt is disputed. So after we send these letters off and they're not immediately removed, this is my 7-day strategy. So if you don't see this removed in 7 days, I want you to take 15 USC 1692 E8 and send it back to them and say, hey, in 30 days, when you pull your report and you do not see a notice of dispute added, this one right here, guaranteed will remove it. And I'm going to be showing you that big brother that you run to tell. I also had somebody mention that they've been getting phone calls from debt collection agencies, and I do want to say there are laws out there that protect you from that. That can also be the same one with the misleading information. They should not call you. It's also the FCRA also regulates when they can call you and what they can say. They should not be calling you in the late hours. They should not be calling you in the early mornings. There are also laws being developed to keep them from bothering you in social media. They're also starting to leave nasty voicemails on your phone. So if anybody has an iPhone out there, I hope you do. I have an iPhone. Next time a debt collector calls you, send them a voicemail. Hopefully they'll have a little too much dip on their chip and they'll leave a voicemail. So with iPhones, they transcribe the voicemails. You can actually screenshot that and use that for a complaint, because there's certain things that they should not say. They cannot use abusive information. Abusive is that is debatable. Okay, what I find abusive as language might not be abusive to you. You said you was gonna sue me for a debt. That's abusive to me. I am scared and I am in distress, and now I want to sue you. Okay, that's abusive to me. You threatened to sue me. You threatened to do something to my credit report. You threatened my financial livelihood. That's abusive, and I don't like that. And I'm telling. So now I'm gonna show you guys who you tell to. So again, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to let me know. So again, I said I was going to show you guys my secret 4-step process. So the first thing is the freeze. So if you don't know what a freeze is, it's ultimately asking who is telling your business. Like, who is telling your business? We actually put a little too much respect on the big three. The big three is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They're not nobody, and they don't even really do a lot of the work. These people here collect the information and take it to them, and they just report it out. When you have some time later, I challenge you all to freeze your credit reports with these people. If you don't have a lot of time today, while we're on this call, I'm going to be sending you the links so you can do these. These are the secret big three. So the popular big three is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, but they usually get their information from these folks. If you have a bankruptcy, or if you have a lot of personal information out there, a lot of addresses, a lot of phone numbers, you need to get with LexisNexis to 1, opt out of your information, 2, freeze your credit report, and then 3, request your credit report so you can remove all of that stuff. Because when it comes back verified, all they're doing is picking up the facts and reaching out to LexisNexis and Novus and Clarity. If you have any charge-offs, like I said, any type of credit account where you stop paying for more than 180 days is most likely charged off or going to be charged off soon. It's going to keep reporting as verified until you get it removed from a Novus. you have a lot of inquiries that you're struggling with getting removed. And my knockout letters that I don't show you is probably because you have some stuff on your clarity report. So again, to combat all of this, I'm going to send the links in the chat so you can freeze your information with this. So a freeze is not a bad thing. Essentially, it's saying I don't want nobody that's not me looking at my credit without my permission. That's a protection mechanism. I don't want anybody that's not me looking at my credit. So essentially, if you're in fear of identity theft, it will protect you, because if somebody try to apply something, you'll get an alert like, hey, your credit is frozen. One. So you can also unfreeze your credit anytime online with these agencies. It's a really trusty and easy process that I'm not going to get too much into. But the benefit of this is if you have your credit report frozen, they cannot talk to each other anymore. Like I said, once you freeze your credit, no one can access your credit profile without your permission. So they can't just up and call and ask to validate. They can't do that. It's frozen. So I don't want to take too much time talking about this, because I know I went into a lot of detail in the first masterclass, but I always like to give that refresher. Okay. So I'm gonna drop in the chat links to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. If you haven't already, I need you to make a free account with them. And what we're going to do is we're going to challenge our personal information. So what is personal information? That's your name, your address, your social security number, your phone number, your job, all of that stuff. That is your personal information. And although that does not directly tie into your credit score, it can be what's used to keep these collections and bad accounts tied to you. So essentially, when they start validating your information, they might just say like, oh, D Rich, that stayed at 123 Sesame Street, that's on her credit report, and she used 123 Sesame Street on her application. It's hers. Boom. So that is why you want to clean up your personal information. So what I'm going to do is I'm about to drop the links to these in the group chat so that you guys can create a free account, or if you have a free account, you can log in and remove it. If you are a client of mine, this has already been done for you. I'm also going to show you how you can dispute your personal information online so that you don't have to send out a paper and pen method. So the method used online, you usually see your results within 2 to 4 hours. If you don't see the results within 2 to 4 hours with this method, I'm going to be showing you a letter that you can send out to update it. So bear with me as I log in. So essentially you want to log into, we're going to do Experian as an example because it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you create your Experian account or you log in, they'll probably take you to a window that asks you for payment. You don't have to pay them anything. That's an upsell. I can't even explain why they do that besides just wanting to make more money. So I'm logging into Experian and I'm going to be showing you how easy it is to dispute your personal information. So this is the perfect example. The second I logged into Experian, I hope you guys can still see my screen. The first thing they say is like, this is your bill summary, get something. No, I want to keep my current free membership. So I want you guys to do the same thing. So once you get that, you want to go to the icon. In the corner is going to be a small person and you're going to click on your account. So I'm going to pull up my Experian, but of course I want to protect my information as best as possible. But if you are on your Experian app or if you're on your tablet or your phone, this is the part where you want to start following with me, unless you are a credit client of mine. So like I said, it's already been done for you. So I actually lied. When you log into Experian, the first thing you want to do is click on credit at the top and look at credit overview. Once you get credit overview, manage credit lock, you don't need to do an Experian lock because essentially it's the same thing as a freeze, and a freeze is free. Experian lock costs money. Print your report, you don't have to do that, but you're going to want to file a dispute. So let's do that. So I'm going to click on file dispute. All right, so once you click on that, it's gonna pull up their dispute portal. This is gonna be the screen that you see. This report number, you can always save it if you plan on doing a dispute later, but we are planning on knocking this. So you're gonna scroll over to where it says your personal information, and then you'll see this arrow here. So from the personal information, you should get that arrow. You're gonna click on this and click on never lived there, or resident type is inaccurate. If you click on these two, it's going to ask for information. So two things will pop up. So if you click on this and you see this right here, that means just ignore it, because it's basically saying we cannot delete this. You're saying that you never lived there, but you just used that for your Bank of America application and 6 others. So you're lying. We can still fight it. Other than that, usually what will happen is you'll click on that and it'll just say next, add to cart. So that's how you do it with all of them. And at the end, I believe Experian only lets you dispute 5 accounts at a time. You'll do that, they'll remove them within 4 hours to 48 hours. Anything that does not, any personal information, any phone numbers, any names, any addresses that do not get removed with this method, or that you get hit with this with, don't worry, because I got a solution. All you have to do is send in a short and simple letter. It's gonna say this: my name is B. Rich. My only address is 123 Sesame Street. My only social security number is 1 through 9. My date of birth is 111. Okay, and this is my formal request that you delete the following. And what you want to do is you want to paste in all the incorrect information that you see. So let's say if you had a charge off for Bank of America, you definitely want the address that I just showed y'all removed, because it's saying that you use Bank of America on your application. So the personal information is really simple. You just have to say this and include your ID. Hopefully your ID has your address to match. If it doesn't have your address to match, include the strip on the back. Include if that's not right, you can use a bill that has your mailing address that matches, and then something that certifies who you are, like your social security number or your birth certificate. So I believe it was Miss Janae that asked me about the letters, and I was telling her about preparing the trap. So now we are about to get to it. So who on this call actually has a collection? Are y'all here just to support me? I appreciate it. Who on here actually has a collection?
So I have one.
I got one too, and you know, because you're doing my credit.
Okay.
Mine is just some little car insurance. Like, I didn't pay them the last little payment, so I got one collection, like $223.
We gonna knock that 223 right on out. Okay. So the very first thing we want to do is send them a debt validation letter. So what is that? You are asking for them to prove that you own it, and you want specific details. Tell me who the original contractor was. Show me the actual balance. A lot of them is going to send you an invoice. That's not the actual balance. I need to see a breakdown of fees, and I love to send these. I love to send these to medical collections. That breakdown of fees gonna do it every time. Yes, please violate my HIPAA rights by sending that to me. You set yourself up. It's called setting the trap for a reason. Also, the collector's authorization to collect. Prove that the balance, and like I said, the proof the balance of fees, documentation showing that they have the right to collect. And then as a bonus, you can always Google if that company can even collect in your state. It's a lot of credit collection companies and agencies out here that are not legally licensed to collect in Michigan, but people don't know that, and they pay them anyway. So always start there before you pay anybody anything when it comes to collections. So I'm not just gonna leave y'all hanging and just show y'all that and not give y'all nothing. So I'm gonna show y'all my letters freaking frack. These is how I get them every time. And with these letters, if you do not get these accounts removed, the language in these set them up for you to sue the debt collectors. So I know I listed all of those FCRA rights out there. They can't just break them and get away scotch-free. They're held to the same standard as citizens. They got rules to follow. So for every negative account that you see on your credit report, you can sue them for $1,000. So if you got 5 accounts with inconsistencies, that's $5,000. So when you send these letters out and they don't remove them, and you have the paper trail to show it, you can file a complaint and get your money. So I'm gonna show y'all Frick. Frick is real simple. This is the first one we want to go out. So whom may concern at whatever collection company. So I know we've been saying LV, NV, or Jefferson Capital. So who it may concern at Jefferson Capital, I dispute account number 12345 with y'all. I need y'all to validate this with me. This is my information. My social security number is at the top of the page. So usually what I usually do is put, like, you know, your first name, your last name, your address, your date of birth. When it comes to collection accounts, only put the last 4 of your social security number. Do not sign this document, because when you say I need to see my signature on these documents, what they'll sometimes do is, because they are grimy, they are grimy. I know people who have worked for these agencies. What they'll do is they'll photocopy your signature and paste it on something. So don't ever give them that. At most, you can give them your a picture of your ID to see who you are, but I always block my client's signature out, or always crop that out. So this is Frick. This is something I usually send out. This is the first letter. So Frack, I'm actually gonna drop in the chat because it is a little bit longer. So this is, you know, they haven't replied in 10-15 days. You want to come out and send Frack, okay? So I'm going to drop Frack in the group chat, and I'm just going to read it aloud for the replay. So it's basically just saying, you know, I'm sending this in response to a note I received. Here we go, y'all. Add this to y'all notes. Add this to y'all notes. And if y'all know somebody that got a collection, you want to make a couple dollars, be like, hey, I'll get your collection removed with you, and just go ahead and use this formula. This is the one. So it's not always about how long the letter is. It's about the language that you say in it and the laws that you reference and how you say you feel. Like I said, no one can say what's abusive and what's not abusive to you except for you. So be very mindful of the language in the letter. So it's basically saying, you know, I'm sending this because I didn't get nothing. It's not a request for verification or proof of my mailing address, but I need actual validation. Send me all of this stuff. I need it by when. And then lastly, you let them know this is what you're violating. Delete this account immediately. So I went ahead and dropped that in the chat. If you have a collection out there, I want you to go out and try to send that as soon as possible. And you're probably like, how am I sending it as soon as possible if I don't have a printer? I don't have stamps. Like, who got that laying around? Most people don't. That's why I'm gonna show you how to do it online. So the secret weapon is the CFPB. CFPB, I want everybody to learn that. The CFPB is the only bureau that actually exists. It's the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. It's a bureau out there just to protect you, to make sure that your consumer rights are not violated, and that if they are, you can sue and you can have these items removed. So Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, all of these people, they're not bureaus. Like, I don't know who put respect on their name. One day somebody got up and decided to call them Big Mama, and they ran with it. They are not bureaus. They are agencies. Take the respect back. They do not get to do and say whatever they want to do. And if you feel like they are, we're going to call Mama. This is Mama. So I'm going to pull up the website, and I'm going to show you what you need to say. So I just gave y'all 2 amazing dispute letters. Okay, I want y'all to fill those disputes out. Everybody has already had time to pull up their credit report, so you might not have to do all of them. Just pick one collection agency out there. And I'm also going to tell you a tip for when you're looking up the collector accounts on your profile. So just in case, you know, you still can't find, you know, I said a good giveaway that something is a collection is if you see something that says original creditor is, or if you see collections in the comments, but sometimes it will say charge off and collection. But if you're trying to just find something really fast, what I usually do is Control F, and you'll get this here, and you can search collection. And every time you see, you know, collection on your credit report, and it follows that format of saying, you know, original creditor, you know it. So again, I don't want to talk you guys' ear off. We've reached our hour mark, so I want to get to wrapping it up so we get to Q&A for any questions that you guys have. So the very first thing you want to do is go to the Consumer Finance Bureau and create an account. Again, if you're a client of mine, you already have an account. So you're just going to click on Submit a Complaint, then go to Start New Complaint. So it's going to take you here where you can create your own account. I already have an account, have like 50 accounts. So I'm going to log in, so just give me a moment. Alright, so if you're still here with me, let me know. Drop a fire emoji in the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself. If you're ready to see how you can file a dispute without sending anything in the mail, so you can take it to your friends, your best friend, your boyfriend, your husband, let me know. Let me know if y'all excited for this tea, because
yes, I'm ready, because I'm tired of, I don't like the letter thing. It's just a lot.
Good. So I paid thousands of dollars for this method, and I'm giving it out for free. And all I'm asking is that you use it, and if it works for you, tell somebody. Just tell somebody in my free Facebook group, like, hey y'all, the method worked. That's all I'm asking for. But anyway, back to the CFPB. Once you get to it, you're gonna click on a button that says Start New Complaint. It's gonna be a blue button in the corner that says Start New Complaint. So this is what it's gonna say. What is this complaint about? Like I said, we came here to tell y'all, because they are being abusive to us, and we are highly offended, and they are trying to get in the way of our lifestyle choices and all the free stuff we want to do, and how we want to boss our business up and boss our life up. So these are the options out here. Feel free to look over these, because you don't just have to use the CFPB for collections. You can use this for any type of account. So you see, you got mortgage, payday loans, prepaid accounts, student loans, debtor credit management, money transfers, credit cards, credit reporting. Usually when you're trying to tell on the big three, this is the one you want to pick. When you're trying to tell on a debt collector or a collection agency, this is what you pick. So we're going to go with debt collection, right? Now, what type of debt is this? I don't know. Even if you do know, look me in my virtual eyes. You don't know. I don't know what this is. It randomly popped up on my credit report. Ain't that what we said in our letter? We want to be consistent. I don't know who these folks are. So we're going to click on next. Right? So they're going to say, what type of problem are you having? You know, are they trying to attempt to collect a debt not owed? Did they not send you written notification? You know, you can read through all of these false statements or misrepresentation. What we're going to do is took or threatened to take negative or legal action. Didn't I say they were being abusive to us? So they threatened to sue you. They threatened to arrest you. They threatened to garnish your wages. And I also want to say, when it comes to wage garnishment, you should never be surprised by wage garnishment. You should have so much notification in mail and through your HR team that you should never be caught off guard. And you should not be having your wages garnished unless you missed a court date. So that's one thing. Like, if you get your wages garnished, there was a court date that you did not respond to or you did not show up to. If you get your wages garnished, it's not the end of the world. There is a motion that you can file with your local court. So if you're in Detroit, that's the 36th District Court. I believe it's like $10 to take it down there and file it, but it's really simple to file for. Okay, so they took or threatened to take negative or legal action, right? Which best describes your problem? They threatened or suggested my credit was going to be damaged. Have I tried to fix it with them? Yes. Did I request information? Yes. Did they provide it? No. No. So a lot of people have been using the CFPB now. So we don't want to start putting all that language in here like they violated USC 15, USC 16, 82. We're not doing that. Okay. Because we don't want them to automatically work as get marked as frivolous. We want them to do a little bit of work. So we're going to see attached. You can say see attached again, or you can say remove for violation of my rights. Right? And then you want to attach the two letters, frickin' frack, right? Then we're going to click next. Now, who is the company that contacted you about the debt? This is where you'll start listing in the one debt collection agency. So we want to do it one at a time. So Jefferson Capital Systems is going to ask you for your account number and the last 4 digits of your social security number. So is there a company where this debt came from different from the company entered above? Yes, because I actually found it on my Equifax report. So let's include Equifax, and this company shall also receive a copy of my complaint. I want them to see that I've been working with Jefferson Capital for the past X amount of days, X amount of months, and they have not been doing what was fair and equitable to me as a consumer and validating the debt. They need to know that since my rights were violated, that this account needs to be removed. So I usually don't put the account number for this, but you can. But you definitely want to put your social. And now we're done. So you're going to click on submit for myself and you're going to review it. I'm actually not going to review it because it's going to pull my personal information up. But that is how you file a paperless dispute for a collection agency and make sure that the credit reporting agencies get a copy of it as well. It's literally that simple. The next thing you're going to get is some emails from the CFPB confirming that they received your dispute. And then when Jefferson Capital or whatever collection agency finally responds, in their response to that, you'll see that as well from the CFPB. Sometimes they say, they'll say like, oh, Jefferson Capital is in receipt of your dispute and they're working, and they'll send you the correspondence via mail, right? No, that's actually wrong. However, those correspondence you get in the mail, when you get that letter in the mail marked up, I want you to keep it because we are going to use that in next week's class to aid in getting it removed. On top of that, once you get that that email from the CFPB saying that Jefferson Capital or Equifax or whatever company finally received your debt, received your dispute, I want you to pick up the phone and call whatever credit bureau that you listed and say, hey, Equifax, I heard that you got my dispute. I just want to follow up on it. I just want to confirm that my dispute was received and how you're working on validating it. That's just an extra step that the big dogs throw in, completely optional. So that was our secret weapon, the CFPB. So secret number 4, trade lines. So when you get to removing these charge-offs and these collections, you're ultimately also reducing your credit age. So these are some great ways that you can restore your credit age, and if you don't have any credit age, how you can build some going forward. So Self is amazing because it allows you to have a credit savings account. So what happens is you'll sign up for a credit builder loan of maybe, let's say, $2,000 or whatever. You'll set whatever amount that you want to pay each month to Self, and they'll make it look like you've been paying off a loan. At the end of the term that you select, you'll get all of the money back sent to you in a check. That's amazing. So not only have you built your credit by showing that you had a on-time payment history for whatever you selected, you get your money back in the end. Credit Strong is really good for people who have high utilization. So if you have like maxed out credit cards, your utilization is over that 30% mark, you can buy a trade line from Credit Strong for anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000 to help aid you with your utilization. So this is a lot better than the trade lines they have on sale online, because those trade lines are usually hundreds or thousands of dollars and they only report for 1 month. Credit Strong stays as long as you want to. So the other ones are temporary thrills people usually use when they're trying to hurry up and boost their credit because they might want to buy a house. They need to get approved really quickly. With Credit Strong, you're playing the long game. Credit Strong also has the same advantages of Self, with you being able to open up a long-term account. I'm also going to drop links to both of these. I have a special discounted link for Credit Strong that lets you save some money at sign up. Lastly, if you paid your rent on time, you need to sign up with Rental Karma, okay? Rental Karma will report your positive on-time payment, your positive on-time rental payment to 2 of the 3 credit bureaus each month for only $9. I do believe there is a $75 fee to sign up, but it is so totally worth it when you've been paying $1,100 a month for the last 6 years for rent, to now see those $1,100 payments every month for 6 years pop up on your credit report. You just got 6 years of an amazing payment history. So with them, I believe you have to set up a small consultation with them, and then they'll send you the documents to get started. You're probably thinking like, dang, I don't rent, I stay on my mama couch, or I stay with so and so, blah 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 blah, or the lease not in my name. So what if the lease is not in your name? They have a unique approach where they text your landlord and just ask if you pay. So if your landlord is your mama, or if your landlord is your girlfriend, because you pay her, your $500 or your half every month, they'll text them and just say, hey, did D-Rich pay her rent on time this month? Yes. Boom, $1,100 reporting on your report. Again, I'm going to include these in the description. And you could have read over this stuff yourself. I essentially said all this throughout the rest of the presentation, and more importantly in the very first one. So on the next class, let's say next week, but it should say next class will be on Google Meet, and we will be using our response letters. So those letters that you got in the mail, or that will be coming in the mail from the debt collecting agencies, as you send these disputes through the CFPB, I want you to keep them, like physically keep them, because we're going to physically write on them. Okay, so in the next one, I'm going to show collections, charge-offs, and late payments, and more ways that you can rebuild your credit so that you can see results like this. Okay, 200 in a month, 100 in a month, 35, 51. These are all amazing. And with this one, with my very first dispute with them, knocked out all of the accounts that they had. They only had negative accounts here. They knocked out all of the negative accounts to the point they no longer have a credit score. That's both a good and a bad thing. It's bad because you don't have credit, because you're not being able to show your positive payment history, but it's also good because it gives you a free slate to start. So if you're one of these people who have a zero credit score, in my next class, I'm going to be showing you advanced rebuilding tactics to show you how you can bring your score up hundreds of points in a month. These are also other accounts that I've had success with getting deleted that we'll be talking about in the next class. So I know I said charge off, late payments, student loans, collections, and bankruptcies. My bankruptcy method is guaranteed to get you results. It's guaranteed to get you results, okay? This result came in 45 days. In 45 days, this could be you, okay? If you have late payments with Capital One, if you have collections with Capital One, collections with Uplift, any of these charge-offs, any of these collections, portfolio, okay, late payments with your student loans. Next class, you will be learning how to remove them, okay? And I am super duper excited to teach you guys. We had an amazing bunch today. I can't wait to see who comes to the next one. So my upcoming class, like I said, I'm always going to hone in the foundation of credit. It can be dense, so I'm going to keep giving it to you every time we meet to reinforce how important it is and how you can use it to leverage it. My top secret credit repair method, so how to remove the late payments, the charge-offs, the bankruptcies, and then credit building and stacking methods to build your personal credit up, and then how to guarantee those high limits. So that class is usually $297, but like I said, I really want us to get it together before next year, okay? We're going to really get it together before next year, so I'm offering it to you guys at a discounted rate, and it's only valid for those who have attended this class or watched this video, because I'm going to give you the discount code collections with dime, okay? Collections with dime. That's going to drop your price down to $97. So I'm going to include a link to register for the next class. It cannot be free because I'm giving away too much good stuff. I've already gave y'all my $1,000 credit collection method. Now this next stuff, when it comes to my charge-offs, my late payments, my bankruptcies, I want to see how serious you are. So the next class is only $90. The average collection is $350. Starts at $350. The average collection starts at $350 and can go upwards to thousands of dollars. So yes, I 100% think this is a steal. For only $97, you can learn how to remove any charge off. Any charge offs from $500, $2,000, $20,000. As you've seen, I had a charge off with GM Financial removed that was over $20,000. If you want to learn how to do that, I've already shared the link. I've already shared the discount code, and I'll meet you there next week. Thank you so much for watching.